Hello! Today I want to share with you a project that I've been working on. Basically what I've been doing is making collages, hands-on paper collages that I have scanned into digital format to be used for my website, empathicamanda.com, which is the site I have for my tarot reading services. That I thought it would be really fun to use chakras as an inspiration. I really like making chakra totems and doing different collages. I've used some of the collages as backgrounds for my videos. It's one of my favorite forms of expressing myself because I like primary colors, I like rainbows, I like the brightness of it, and I also like the fact that there's a lot of symbolism in each color. I really wanted to make this website me, as much as I could, and so I created a collage for each of the 7 chakras. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what chakras are, basically, in the most simplistic terms, they're energy centers throughout the body that are represented by a color. And it starts with the base of the spine, to the abdomen, to solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. When I talk about these, I'm just talking in terms of my own personal experience and how I utilize the chakra system. So first, I'll start with the first chakra, which is also referred to as the root chakra. Now, this chakra is represented by the color red and is oftentimes thought to represent survival issues, money, your home, your relationship, especially your early childhood relationship with your mother. With this collage, the choices that I made with this was primarily I stuck with the color of each one and just used different shades, but with this one I did allow for other colors to come into play since it does represent the beginning, and that once you master that, then you can really give your attention to some of the other chakras. So since that's sort of my goal, I wanted to remind myself that there are other chakras waiting for me once I get this chakra under control. The next chakra is the second one, and it is represented by the color orange. It's also located in your abdomen area and is associated with creativity and sexuality. I just wanted it to be playful and different and kind of whimsical in terms of creativity and sexuality being represented. Now, the third chakra and my third collage is the will, which is represented by the color yellow. On this one, yellow, for me, my will, which is where what that chakra represents, your will represents how you sort of move about in the world, how you use your power, how you let other people's power affect you. I think of it as like asserting oneself and the energy to get things done. The border kind of has an elementary school bulletin board feel to it, and at first I didn't like it and I was going to redo it, but then I thought that it was probably a subconscious choice because I think of, when we begin school is sort of like our first opportunity to be in the world and to kind of maneuver ourselves through life and in relationship to others. And so our early childhood education is sort of the beginning of how we relate to our own will. And then in the center is a star. And this star represents shining, and that, if you're going to shine, you have to believe in yourself, you have to take action. And that's, to me, what the will represents. Now, the fourth collage and chakra is the heart chakra. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I actually make one of these beeswax and paper collages. Now, just to let you know, the heart chakra represents love and compassion and is oftentimes thought as the middle ground between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. And so, love heals all, love unites both heaven and earth, And so the heart is the center. And it's represented by the color green and sometimes pink. Now my heart chakra kind of turned out pretty folksy, and a lot of the images or the paper that I used was from a calendar that was like a quilt pattern a day kind of calendar, and so the heart chakra really turned out to look like a quilt, which normally that's not the kind of thing that I'm drawn to, but I thought it actually worked out pretty well, because when you think of quilts, you think of, you know, people sort of coming together and working on it, and it's a very loving gift that is oftentimes given. There's a commitment, and it takes energy and effort to complete a quilt. It's not an overnight creation. It takes time, and so it takes a lot of love to make something like that. And a lot of times, you know, like quilting bees and things like that, where women would come together and work on something together and help each other out and that kind of thing. So the heart chakra represents that kind of community, connection, openness, compassion, love. And so I thought it was kind of cool, actually, that that one turned out to look like a quilt. Now the fifth chakra is located in the throat region and is oftentimes represented by the color turquoise and sometimes blue. And this is the only one that I used words on, because the throat chakra represents communication and sharing. It also represents truth, and whether or not we share our truth with others vocally or through communication like writing. So the next chakra is the sixth, which is represented as the third eye, which is located in the center of your forehead. The third eye is, you know, the part of us that can see what's really going on. It's our psychic connection, our ability to perceive beyond, you know, the five senses. A lot of times it's represented by indigo. I chose more purple tones, and as you can see, it's in the shape of an eye, and there's also a dove to represent peace and sort of a higher level of awareness beyond the ego and that sort of thing. And then the seventh chakra is called the crown, and that is sometimes represented by the color violet, or it's like white and silver, and a lot of times incorporates a lot of the other colors within the chakra system, which is the route that I went, of just really, you know, making it look very, you know, fractally, because it's represented as a connection to the spirit realm. So I wanted to make it different than all of the other chakras. And so I have some silver and some white. I kind of think it looks a little bit like a party, which I think of the spiritual realm as being, you know, very vivid and very fun. So once all of these were made, I placed them in my scanner and scanned them into digital format. I then went into Photoshop and sort of just tweaked the colors to make it more vivid and bright. And then I laid them out to form a background, and I used each individual collage to form different boxes to frame the text of my website. And as you can see, I now have a very bright and colorful and 100% unique website to promote my reading services. Please feel free to check out empathicamanda.com to see the website for yourself, and stay tuned, because we got a lot more videos on the way. So thanks for watching.
Let's cut out the melodrama so we can make up the whole wide world. Let's make up and start all over and awaken the voice. girl.